how to attempt the line graph type of academic task 1 writing IELTS. Let us start with the question. The line charts give information about the demand for steel and number of workers employed in a country from January to December. After reading the question, make sure you are spending the time of 2 minutes to analyze the entire image of the task. After analyzing it, you will recall the format before actually writing the task. So let us recall the format. Firstly, in introduction, you will paraphrase the prompt and mention how the data is calculated. After doing that, you will leave the space of one line and write the overall. In overall, you will mention the overall trend of the graph and mention the maximum and minimum data. After writing overall, you will leave the space of one line and write the body paragraphs. In body paragraphs, you will describe the main trends in the graph and make comparisons wherever possible. Now, in attempting the line graph type of task, you have to make sure that you do not forget to mention the start and end of the data, as it is very important. After reading the format, let us now start writing the task. Firstly, the introduction. The charts detail demand of steel and the number of workers employed in a given country over a 1-year period. The data is calculated in million tons for demand of steel and the number of workers are given in thousands. Here you can see that in introduction, firstly we have paraphrased the prompt and then we have mentioned how the data is calculated in both the line graphs. Now let us write the overall. It will always start with the overall linker. Looking from an overall perspective, it is readily apparent that demand and employment fluctuated but followed similar downward trends. By the end of the period, actual demand had overtaken the production. Here in the first line, you can see that we have mentioned the overall trend of the graph, that is fluctuated and it is going downwards. And in second line, we have mentioned that the data of demand overtaken the production. Now let us write the body paragraphs. In the first 2 months of the years, workers 6,000, steel production 5,000 and demand 3,000 peaked. From there, the number of workers fell steeply to 3,000 in March and was flat through April, while production dropped below 4,000 tons and remained stable to July. Actual demand also decreased. Though it fluctuated between 2 and 3,000 tons through September before plummet to zero in November and recovering to 2,000 in December. This end of year pattern was largely mirrored by both production and employment, as the former crashed from a second peak of nearly 5,000 in July to under 1,000 by the end of the period, with no recovery. Employment numbers rose to 3,500 in August and had steadily subsided to 1,000 by the end of the year. Here in the body paragraphs, you can see that in first line, I have mentioned that the data of workers, steel production and actual demand was at top by using the word peaked. In second line, I shown the constant data by using the word was flat. Then I have used the conjunction while and to show the decrement, I have used the word dropped. And for again showing the stability, I have used remained stable. And after that, in last line, I have used the words decreased and plummet to show the downward trend. In another body paragraph, again to show the decrease, I have used the word crashed. And the other important words are also highlighted. I have explained each and every detail from the line graph in order to score higher. When you are attempting, make sure that you explain each and every significant trend to explain the data. Now, let us see the useful language for attempting this type of task. You can see several verbs, adverbs, and adjectives on your screen. Now, how to use them? The verbs such as rise, increase, grow, go up to, climb, boom, pick, fall, decline, decrease, drop, dip, and so on can be seen by you. And the adjectives such as sharp, rapid, huge, dramatic, substantial, considerable, significant, slight, and so on. Such adjectives can be seen. And finally, the adverbs such as dramatically, rapidly, hugely, massively, sharply, steeply, and so on can be seen. Now, when you are writing the task that is in past form, that is in past tense, you will have to use the verbs that are in past form. Let us take an example of using adjective and verb together. Taking the first word sharp and first verb rise. You can write sharp rise was noted. This brings us to the last part of this lecture, that is tips for effective performance while attempting the line graph type of report. Firstly, don't forget to mention the start and end of the graph. As I said the same thing in the starting of the lecture, that it is very important to mention the starting and ending point of a line. Next, don't include below in your paraphrase, because in the question, when they are writing below, they have the actual image below the question. But in your answer, you do not have the image. So do not include below in the paraphrase while writing the introduction. After that, use linkers accurately. By using the linkers, you can connect the information. So make sure you are doing it correctly. Next is, do not give your opinion, because you are writing a report and the person or the examiner is willing to understand the image that is given to you and not your point of view. So make sure you do not provide your opinion. Next is, do not forget to check your task once it is finished in order to be very sure about rectifying your own errors. Lastly, do not forget to refer the sample task. By referring the sample task, you can get to know the various ways of mentioning the trends in your graph, using vocabulary to enhance your score, and so on. I hope this lecture will help you to get better scores in line graph type of task. If you have any queries related to whatever discussed in this class, please write in the comment section. We will respond as soon as we can. Thank you for attending the class. I'll see you in the next lecture.